topic of discussion is the contraception. And regarding the contraception, what is contraception? Any one of you can tell me? Any one of you? So the objective regarding the contraception, the end of the session, the students will be able to understand the different methods of contraception, the classification of contraceptive methods, the effectiveness of contraceptive methods and the failure rate, the mode of action of different contraceptive methods, and the contraindication for different contraceptive methods. Now, regarding the efficacy and the effectiveness, you all know that the contraceptive methods need to be very effective and they have a valid efficacy. So the efficacy of a method depends upon its mechanism of action, how it is being acting on to produce the contraception. And the most effective method for a woman is a method that will be used correctly and consistently. Means it is being easily be available, have a good efficacy to being protected against the pregnancy, and it should be very effective in terms of that it should be very correctly used and can be used on a routine basis so that it can have a good effect. Now, the failure rate. Failure rate during the perfect use shows how effective methods can be where the perfect use is defined as following the directions to use. LARC, what is LARC? The long-acting reversible contraception has been defined as the method that required the administration less than once per month. Means it is a long-acting, but it can be reversed whenever the couple wish to have the baby, it can be reversed. The characteristics of the user that determines the risk of pregnancy includes the compliance, age, and the frequency of the use. So the method is there, but the effectiveness and the efficacy how it works. But effectiveness depends upon that how the method is easy to be used and what is the compliance of the patient, what is the age, what is her priority, and for how long she has been using for that. So the method and its efficacy and effectiveness is very important, need to consider whenever prescribing or advising someone for the contraception. Now, the failure rates in the first year of its use. No method, a typical use and a perfect use. You all have gone through with this in the previous slide that who is a typical user or who is a perfect user. So the failure rate during the perfect use shows how effective method can be, where the perfect use is defined as the following the direction to use. So that person or that couple is a perfect user. So method, if no method, the failure rate is 85%. Family planning methods, the failure rate is about 25 in the 20, but if it's perfectly being used, the failure rates are very less. So you see in all the methods which have been defined in the first column, you see as compared to the typical users, they have a good, they have a less failure rates in the first year of the use if they are a perfect user. So being a perfect user, the failure rate in the first year will be reduced. Now, safety of the contraceptive methods. You all know that a method that is being practiced by a woman must be safe. It won't harm to her health. It won't have any harm to her reproductive life. So it must be safe enough. So some women suffer certain health conditions which may be affected by the use of certain contraceptive methods. The WHO medical eligibility criteria for the contraception, which is also called as MAC, is a guidance document that contains the recommendation for whether or not the women with given medical conditions are eligible to use a particular contraceptive method based on the evidence and expert consensus opinion. So this medical eligibility criteria we should all to learn whenever we are giving any contraceptive methods, either hormonal complete or any other method, so that in the light of that guidelines, we can assess the woman whether on the medical grounds she is being able safely to use this method or not. In the end, I will show you about this MAC wheel, which is being now practically used for considering that which method is suitable for which patient if she has any problems or the other medical conditions, which is called as the medical eligibility criteria. Now, this is the medical eligibility criteria category 1, 2, 3, and 4. The category 1 means that that there is no restriction for the use of contraceptive method. Sorry, means you can, if it is the medical eligibility criteria 1, it can be safely used. No restrictions. In the category 2, in the MAC categories, if it is in the 2, so the advantages of the method generally outweighs the theoretical over proven risk. If this is a minor risk, if the advantages are more enough, you can give it. So it is being added in the category 2. Category 3 means the theoretical or a proven risk generally overweight the advantages of using the method. If there is a risk or more as compared to the advantages which have been identified, so you being categorized at 3, you won't use it. 4 means that if it is very unacceptable for the health if the contraceptive method is used. So means that according to the medical eligibility criteria category 1, if the method is in the category 1, we can safely prescribe and there is no restriction of the use of that contraceptive method. If it is 2 and 3, in which we can assess the benefit and the risk of that contraceptive method, and 4 means that it's strictly prohibited, that method is not suitable. Another thing we need to know about the contraceptive methods, that interaction with the other medications, because there are certain medicines like anticonvulsants, the antibiotics, antifungal, and antiretroviral therapies that induce the liver enzyme cytochrome P450 and will reduce the efficacy of the hormonal contraceptives such as combined hormonal contraceptive pills, the patches, implants, the progestogen only pills, and the implants. So these women may use the progestogen only injections, levonorgestrel intrauterine system, copper intrauterine contraceptive device, as efficacy of these methods is not affected by enzyme inducing drugs. So the another thing beside that of the medical eligibility criteria, you should know that women, you should take a detailed history regarding of those drugs which can induce the liver enzyme cytochrome 50, which reduces the efficacy, so that we can give the other method as per needed. Now come to the different methods of the contraception. You all know that there are different methods, the barrier methods, the intrauterine devices, the injectables, and basically the hormonal method, which will be divided into combined oral contraceptives, which contains both estrogen and progestogen, and the progestogen only preparations are there. So in the combined hormonal contraceptions, there are combined oral contraceptive pills, the patches, the vaginal ring, and the progestogen only preparations include the progestogen only pills, the injectables, subdermal implants, the hormonal emergency contraceptive pills. So these are the different methods regarding the hormone. Then comes to the intrauterine contraception, which include the copper intrauterine devices, the hormone releasing intrauterine system. The barrier method, which are devoid of using any hormones and any insertions, they include the condoms, the female barriers, the quatters interruptus, and the natural family planning methods are included in the barrier. Then the ultimate method, that is an irreversible method or a method for sterilization, include the female sterilization, the tubal ligation, as well as the vasectomy, the male sterilization. Now, first of all, the very important regarding that the woman is being given the advice for the contraceptive method, that the couple need to be considered for many things that you have, that I've told you before, the medical eligibility criteria, number 2, the history regarding the taking the medications, and any other things will need to be considered very thoroughly before prescribing any method, especially the hormonal method of contraception. So that needed during contraceptive consultation. So before that, you need to know how much, for how long a duration she has wanted the contraception, what are her previous experiences for that contraceptive method, and on all the other comorbidities need to ask. So during the contraceptive consultation, user needs to make an informed choice about which method to use. The discussion about a method needs to cover what would be the mode of action, the failure rate, the side effect or risk, the benefits, how to use a method, and the fertility return on stopping and when she requires a review. These things must be very thoroughly discussed whenever we are discussing any contraceptive method to a couple, that when they are, for how long they need to have this contraceptive method, and how the fertility will be returned, and what is the side effects, the benefit, and the fertility returns of this on stopping. Sorry. Now, number one is the combined oral contraceptive pills. Sorry. Combined oral contraceptive pills was first licensed in UK in 1961, and it contains a combined hormone of synthetic estrogen and progesterone. And as you all know that these are the hormones, so they can act by inhibition of ovulation by suppressing the release of the gonadotropins, the FSH and LH from the primary gland, which prevents the follicular development within the ovary and therefore the ovulation. So this is the method how the combined oral contraceptive pills can suppress the ovulation and produces contraception. On the other hand, it also makes the endometrium atrophic and hostile to implantation and altering the cervical mucus to prevent sperm ascending into the uterine cavity. So basically, the COCs have a one effect that they lead to the inhibition of ovulation, and another fact that it makes the endometrium atrophic and hostile for the implantation, and thus can affect the sperm ascent towards the uterine cavity. The most preparation contains the estrogen, ethinyl estradiol in a daily dose between 15 to 35 micrograms. Most combined oral contraceptive pills contain progestogens that are classed as second and third generation. Second generation pills contain the derivatives or norethindrone and levonorgestrel. Third generation include the desogestrel, gestodine, and norgestimate. Means that more commonly, the estrogen part contains the ethinyl estradiol with 15 to 35 microgram daily, but the progestogen site of that combined oral contraceptive pills that may contain the second and third generation of the progesterone as defined. Now, the pills nowadays has been used, including the progestogen category of drospirenone and Danogest, which are also available in the other countries. Now, after that, they have contains the estrogen and the progesterone in different varieties, but they have certain types of regime, including the monophasic, diphasic, quadriphasic preparations are also available in different means. Monophasic means that they're always used and contain standard daily dosage of equal amount of estrogen and progesterone. Biphasic, triphasic, and quadriphasic preparations have 2, 3, and 4 incremental variations in hormonal doses, but are more complicated for a woman to use. They have different in this half, means that biphasic means in first half they have the estrogen, and in the second half they have the progesterone. Now, the absolute contraindication. Usually, there are two types of contraception, means absolute and the relative one. Absolute means there is no chance that you can not use. Relative, you can use if the benefit is more as compared to the risk. So regarding the absolute contraindication means in which this method need not to be used, include that less than 6 weeks postpartum if the woman is breastfeeding. If she is a smoker and if she used to smoke more than 15 cigarettes per day and she is more than 35 years of age. She is hypertensive with a systolic blood pressure of more than 100 and equal to 160 and diastolic more than and equal to 100. She has a current or a past history of venous thromboembolism. She is a known case of ischemic heart disease. She has a history of this cardiovascular accident or a pulmonary valvular heart disease or atrial fibrillation, subacute enterobacterial endocarditis. Moreover, if the woman is having the migraine, headache with the focal neurological symptoms, she is currently a case of a breast cancer, diabetes with the complications like retinopathy, neuropathy, nephropathy, liver cirrhosis, and tumors. These are the conditions in which the combined oral contraceptive pills is absolutely contraindicated. Relative means that the multiple risk factors for the arterial diseases. If the blood pressure is of a lower bit higher, means 140 to 150 and diastolic 90 to 99, and she is having some known hyperlipidemias, the diabetes with the vascular disease, obesity, smoking less than 15 cigarettes per day, and migraine without aura, and a current medically treated gallbladder disease. Breastfeeding until 6 months postpartum is a relative contraindication. History of cholelithiasis, mild serosin, and if she's taking certain anticonvulsants and the rifampicin, then these are included the mild, the relative contraindication. Now, regarding the combined oral contraceptive pills, the side effects. You all know that they are prescribing a woman the hormones. So the hormones, especially the progesterone, is having the different side effects. Sorry. So reported side effects include the central nervous system, the depressed mood, headache, mood swings, the loss of libido, and GI symptoms like nausea, weight gain, and the bloatedness. Reproductive system side effects in this are the breakthrough bleedings and increased vaginal discharge. Breast include the breast pain, enlarged breast, and miscellaneous include the cholasmus, the fluid retention, and change in contact lens. So cardiovascular system, the COC increases the risk of venous thromboembolism 3 to 5-fold. Arterial diseases with COC is less common but more serious. The risk of myocardial infarction and thrombotic stroke in a young healthy woman using the COC is very small. Now, regarding that, we have gone through with the mode of action, the indication of their use, and also we have gone through with the which side effects are there. There are some non-contraceptive benefits of these hormonal preparations are also there, which include the cycle regulation, so that these medications that combine oral contraceptive pills are not only used as a contraceptive method, but other gynecological conditions they are also being used, as like control of the menstrual flow, that it decreases the flow, improves the anemia, increase bone mineral density, improves or decreases the benefits may decreases dysmenorrhea, decreases the perimenopausal symptoms, decreases acne, hirsutism, and also the risk of ovarian cancer decreases by 50% after the 5 years of use, and also reduces the risk of cancer. So these are the non-contraceptive benefits of the combined oral contraceptive pills. Now, this is a chart. Whenever you prescribe the combined oral contraceptive pills or the cyclical medication to the client, the woman usually can have the problem that she had the missed pills. So there's something that need to be known, that if she missed one pill, so she has to take it the other and continue as usual. And if she has missed the 2 pills, so she has to take the one within the 24 to 48 hours and continue. The important thing is that in this case, minimizing the risk of the pregnancy, we need to know that in which week the pill is being missed. If it is being missed in the first 7 days, 8 to 14 days, or 15 to 21 days. If the pill is missed, the 1 pill or 2 pill which is being defined above, so emergency contraception should be considered if unprotected sex occurred in the pill-free interval or in the first week of the pill taking, because we won't have a better contraception protection is that whenever the missed pill is there, there should be a good 7 days pill cover before and after. So when the woman is missing the pill in the first 7 days, there is a placebo there in the previous 7 days. So there's a chances. So woman should receive or should practice the emergency contraception. But if the woman missed the pill in the second week from 8 to 14, there is no indication of the EC or emergency contraceptive pills in the preceding 7 days has been taken consistently and correctly. Assuming the pill thereafter are taken correctly and additional contraceptive precautions are used, because she had previously been support of the 7 tablets, and 7 tablets are ahead. So we ask her to continue the tablet taking regularly. But if she missed her pill in the 3rd week, so omit the pill-free interval, because she has won't any protection of 7 pills ahead. So we ask her to omit the pill-free interval by finishing the pill in the current pack or discarding placebo tablet and start the new pack. So this is a guideline how you will advise if a woman asks you when she come to you that she has still missed 1 or 2 within 24 to 48 hours. Now, this is all about the combined oral contraceptive pills that you need to know. Now, the another method is a patch and ring. The combined oral contraceptive, hormonal transdermal patch releases 39.9 microgram of ethinyl estradiol per day, and norelgestromin 203 microgram per day. The regime involves the application of patch for 21 days, followed by 7 days hormone pill-free interval. The combined hormonal ring is a 54 millimeter ring that releases 15 microgram ethinyl estradiol and 120 microgram of the etonogestrel per day. So these are the pictures which showing the patches. Number 1 in the A, and number 2, B is the hormonal ring. Okay, these are the vaginal contraceptive rings, and you now know that what is the content of that ring and the patch. Now comes to the progestogen only contraception, means that only the progestogen is giving in this method. So the progestogen only contraceptive avoids the risk and effects of estrogen. So in this method, the estrogen effect has been minimized. So the current method of progestogen only contraceptions are the progestogen only pills or the mini pills, subdermal implants, the Implanon, and injectables like Depo-Provera, Nordistrate, hormone releasing intrauterine system, the Mirena. So these are the different preparations of progestogen only contraception, means in terms of pill, subdermal implant, injectables, and intrauterine system. In these multiple forms they are available. Now how they act? The question is that how they act. The progestogen only contraception works by local effect on the cervical mucus, making it hostile to ascending sperm, and on the endometrium, making it thin and atrophic, thereby preventing the implantation and sperm transport. So this is the basic method by which it produces the contraception, because it is containing the progesterone. Now, the side effects, because progesterone methods have a certain side effects, the most important with which the woman comes to us very frequently, that are the erratic or the abstinent menstrual, simple ovarian cyst, the breast tenderness, and the acne. These are the common the symptoms with which usually with the progesterone, because progesterone only pills are having a more safer input as compared to the combined oral contraceptive pills, and they are in a multiple forms. They are used like pills, the implants, the injectables, as well as for the intrauterine system. So if we give them, more commonly patient comes with the irregular bleeding, absent bleeding, weight gain, bloatedness, and the breast tenderness as well. Indications are, the most important indication for the progesterone pills are the breastfeeding. The older women and those who have a cardiovascular risk like hypertension, diabetes, and smoking, in which the estrogen, more commonly that if the estrogen, those cases or those things in which the estrogen need not to be given, progestogen can be given safely. Now, injectable progestogens. 2 injectable progestogens are marketed now. Depot medroxyprogesterone acetate, which is very commonly said as Depo-Provera, and it contains 150 milligram. Low dose micronized formulations with the name of Cyanapress, 104 milligram is also available. Side effects of Depo-Provera include the weight gain, 2 to 3 kg during the first year of use, delay in the return of the fertility, and the persistently irregular periods are the most common complaint of this using with the progestogen. So progestogen injectables are in a form of Depo-Provera, and a newly named, which is called as micronized formulations like Cyanapress, is also available. And weight gain and the menstrual problems are injectable fertility. Return to the fertility after the injectable stopping is about year to 1.5 years. Now, progestogen releasing intrauterine system. Sorry. There are 2 levonorgestrel intrauterine system are available. The 50 milligram levonorgestrel intrauterine system, very commonly you heard of the Mirena, is licensed for 5 years contraceptive use. But the other is the 13.5 milligram levonorgestrel intrauterine system, the JDs, is licensed for 3 years of contraceptive use. It has a narrower insertion device and a short frame, thus making the easier insertion. So these systems, which including the not only producing the contraception and also have certain also non-contraceptive benefits, are very commonly used as a contraceptive method, which releases the progestogen, and they are easy to be inserted. Now, intrauterine contraceptive devices are the non-medicated intrauterine contraceptive device, which is called as the multi-load, the copper IUD, and the levonorgestrel releasing intrauterine device like the Mirena. So these are the different types of IUCD. You see the leftmost, that is a part, this is called the multi-load. The middle one, which is the T shape, it is called as the copper T. And the third, in which the uterus model is also made, this is typically a Marana. So the first one is the pink background. This is the multi-load. The in between, the middle one is the copper T, and the third one, which is in the model of the uterus, is the Marana. These are the different types of the intrauterine contraceptive devices. Now, how they work? What is the mechanism of action? As they are inserted into the uterine cavity, so just like in a foreign body. So the more common is the inhibition of implantation and the foreign body reaction, because it is inserted out from outside into the uterine cavity. So prevention of fertilization, the chief mechanism. So the inhibition of implantation, the presence of foreign body and the copper biochemical and the morphological changes in the endometrium, and it adversely affects the sperm transport. Copper iron has the direct effect on the sperm motility and in its ability to penetrate the cervix mucus. This is about if they are using the copper IUCDs or the other copper T or the multi-load. Levonorgestrel, in terms of if they are secreting something like the progesterone, the releasing devices are having a weak foreign body reaction and endometrial deserialization and the glandular atrophy. Estrogen and progesterone receptors are decreased, cervical mucus become thick and impermeable to the sperm, and ovulation may be inhibited in some of the women. So the multi-load, the copper T, they all produces as the foreign body reaction. They can affect adversely the sperm transport and make them thicker. And levonorgestrel releasing can produces the progesterone effect that may lead deserialization and glandular atrophy, along with the cervical mucus thickening and making impermeable to that. Now, indication. So what is the indication in which you can use the intrauterine contraceptive devices? So in the absence of the contraindications, may be considered for any woman seeking a reliable, reversible, quarterly independent method of contraception. Women seeking a long-term birth control. As you all see that in previously, there are 3 years of use, maximum 5 years of use. So those who are seeking the long-term birth control, they can be added. A method requiring the less compliance, because once it has been introduced, there is need not to be done on a routine basis any change. Women with the contraindication of estrogen, very important that if the woman has a certain thing that estrogen need not to be given, so this method is a good. And breastfeeding women can have the intrauterine contraceptive device. And the copper IUCD used for postpartum contraception within 5 days. It is one of the methods for the emergency contraception. If emergency contraception has not been practiced within 72 hours of the unprotected intercourse, within 5 days, IUCD insertion can have being a place as the emergency contraception. Levonorgestrel intrauterine contraceptive devices, it decreases the menstrual flow and cramping, suitable for the woman for the menorrhagia. So in terms of if there are used for contraception, woman, there is a need of contraception, and also that she has the problems with the increased menstrual flow, dysmenorrhea and menorrhagia. So levonorgestrel intrauterine system containing the progesterone is a good option, that on one side it produces the contraception, and on the other hand it improves the menorrhagia by reducing the glandular and the residualization and the endometrial atrophy as well. Okay. Now, the contraindication, where you not need to use the intrauterine contraceptive device like pregnancy, the current or a recurrent or a recent within 3 months PID or a sexually transmitted diseases. You all know because it is inserted into the cavity. Puerperal sepsis, immediate post-septic abortion, severely distracted uterine cavity means like any congenital anomaly or having the multiple fibroids, not a good option. Unexplained vaginal bleeding, you not know there is what is the need or what is the cause. C endometrium or C cervix, malignant trophoblastic diseases. Women have a copper allergy, and a breast CA, levonorgestrel intrauterine system need not to be given. So these are the contraindications for this. Now, what are the risks if we have inserted the intrauterine contraceptive devices? Risk or the complications are also there, because we are introducing a device into the uterus. They have some complications as well, which include the perforation of the uterus, which is very rare, and approximately 1 in 1,000. There is an increased risk of perforation in breastfeeding women less than 6 months postpartum. the laparoscopic retrieval of the device is usually possible. 1 in 20 IUCDs will be expelled within first 3 months of the insertion. So overall risk of infection is 1 in 100 within first 3 weeks following the insertion. Usually the perforation, expulsion, infection, dislodging, these are the lost thread of the IUCDs are the most common complication or risk associated with the IUCDs. So we usually call her a woman to follow up in the next preceding cycle for after insertion of the IUCD to check for the thread, which is very important. Now, emergency. This is about the progesterone preparations. You learn about the oral, the injectable, the implants, the intrauterine devices. Now comes towards the emergency contraception. Now, the emergency contraception method is that whenever there is an unprotected contact, the method which is used to abandon or can prevent from the pregnancy are called as the emergency contraceptives. And in the emergency contraception, the commonly used is a levonorgestrel 0.75 milligram, 2 doses 12 hours apart, or a 1.5 milligram single dose of a similar efficacy can be used. Or a copper IUCD, as I have told you before, that within the 5 days of the unprotected sex, the copper IUCD can be inserted. The progesterone receptors modulator ulipristal acetate 30 milligram can be used within 124 hours of the unprotected intercourse. Effective ongoing contraception should be started after EC. Once the woman has suffered from the emergency for the unprotected sex and they need to start with the emergency contraception, so the options are levonorgestrel, 0.75 2 doses 12 hours apart, or a single dose of 1.5 milligram, or a copper IUCD within 5 days of that after the intercourse, or a ulipristal acetate can be used. But this did not be practiced on the regular basis. The couple need to consider the regular method of a contraception. Now the barrier method. The barrier methods prevents the sexually transmitted infections and are therefore of enormous importance globally. Which is very easy method to use. It prevents the sexually transmitted diseases. There is no any hormonal preparations are there, no hormone use, but compliance is very important. In this method, the compliance is very important. They prevent the pregnancy by creating a physical barrier to the sperm reaching and fertilizing the egg. The male condoms made of the latex rubber, they are cheap and widely available and prevents the spread of STIs, particularly the HIV, the spermicides and gels are also available. The female barriers are the diaphragms, the various cervical cap, and they should be used in conjunction with a spermicidal cream or the gel. The failure rate is around 18%. Their use may be associated with increasing vaginal tract and urinary tract infections. There is a risk with the female that they are using with the infections and the vaginal discharge, but male condoms are also being very widely used. They are cheap, they are available, they prevent from the sexually transmitted diseases, and there is a benefit that they are not using the hormone. But compliance is very important for this matter. Otherwise, it is a very a good and a cheap method for that. Now, sterilization. Sterilization means that there's a method that can have a permanent for the method for the contraception. So the female sterilization and male vasectomy are the permanent method of contraception and are highly effective. They are usually chosen by the relatively older couple who have completed their families. Vasectomy is easier, cheaper, and slightly more effective than a female sterilization. Semen analysis need to be checked after the procedure to ensure that it has been successful. It means that 3 consecutive negative samples for the sperm count is needed to assure that the vasectomy is successful and they have a contact. Female sterilization involves a mechanical blocking of both the fallopian tubes to prevent the sperm reaching and fertilizing the oocyte. Technique of sterilization include the clips, the Fallop rings, the ligation, electrocautery, and the chemical agents like the quinacrine. So these are the methods that produces the sterilization, which is the permanent method of contraception. The female, the tubal ligation, there are different methods of the tubal ligation, and in the male, the vasectomy method is done. Now, the female sterilization, this is a permanent method of contraception that can be performed by laparoscopy, seroscopy, and the laparotomy. The laparoscopic sterilization includes the fallopian tube or the Filshie's clip. Hysteroscopic means sterilization is outpatient and anesthesia in which a microinsert, which is called as Essure, expanding a spring-like material of a titanium, splin, and nickel with the hysteroscopic guided, they are inserted, these fibrosed at the ostia of the fallopian tube. So they can produce the mechanical obstruction or the blockage for the passage of a sperm to the fallopian tube. So these are the different methods. Laparoscopically by the Filshie's clip, the stereoscopically the micros insert the Essures, which are a making of a spiral ring. With the stereoscope under the direct vision, they will be inserted on each or right or left ostia of the fallopian tube. They are inserted into the fallopian tubal ostia by stereoscope. These include the fibrosis within the corneal portion of each fallopian tube over the following 3 months. The failure rate is 1 in 200 for laparoscopic and 1 in 500 for hysteroscopic sterilization. There is a 1 in 1,000 risk of trauma to the bladder, bowel, or the vessel injury associated with the laparoscopic, which is a general complication of a laparoscopic surgery. So this is a newer technique that in which the outpatient stereoscopic guided the Essure being inserted through the uterine cavity at the ostia of the each fallopian tube, which is one of the methods for a sterilization. Effective contraception is required until this next menstrual period following the laparoscopic procedures and 3 months following the stereoscopic procedures. Pregnancy following the female sterilization is very rare, but if does occur, there is an increased risk of ectopic. We do see that where there's a very less failure rate, but they do occur. So it will lead to the ectopic pregnancy. Reversal of sterilization is a highly skilled procedure and associated with the increased risk of ectopic pregnancy. So this is about the female sterilization, the different techniques, which include the laparotomy, laparoscopically, and stereoscopically insertion of a device, and need to be followed the 3 months after the stereoscopic and laparoscopic methods. Okay. Now the vasectomy. This is a technique of interrupting the vas deferens to provide the permanent occlusion. There is a small risk of scrotal hematoma and infection with the procedure. Post vasectomy semen analysis should be done after 12 weeks to confirm the azoospermia. Alternative method of contraception should be used until the azoospermia is confirmed, which I've told you before that if the continuous 3 consecutive samples containing the azoospermia, then they are allowed to have a contact. And in the meantime, they have to use a certain alternative method of contraception. The another thing is the FAB. What is the fertility awareness based methods? Formerly known, जो कि पहले हम discuss करते थे previously, the natural method या calendar method को कहा जाता था. Then nowadays the fertility awareness है, and then used to use of the fertility awareness based method requires motivation and regular menstrual. They always need a regular menstrual cycle so that a woman needs to be assured of her safe periods or the unsafe periods or her ovulatory days. So typical failure rate is very high. It includes the rhythm method, the basal body temperature method, the cervical mucus method, and a lactational method during the first 6 months of the postpartum. But the thing is required that by the motivation, the couple understanding, as well as the cycles should be regular so that she can monitor or can sort out her the safe days or unsafe days. Now, opportunities to, at the end, what is important? We have learned the different method of contraception. We have learned now what are the different, how they are using, in which preparations they are, how you are going to prescribe the contraceptive method with the couple counseling, with the couple needs that her medical eligibility criteria, her different history of medication, their age, the need of duration of fertility, the contraception they required, the reversal of the revert back of the fertility. These need to be considered before prescribing or advising a contraceptive method. You all done. Now, what are the opportunities to provide contraception? How it could be? How would you manage that? These include the general gynecological clinic, presentations of emergency contraception, presentation to request and induced abortion, and also antenatally and after childbirth. It is estimated that 30% of the maternal and 10% of perinatal deaths worldwide could be prevented if the couple space pregnancies more than 2 years apart. So means that consideration of the contraception is very important for the health of the mother, for the health of the baby as well, because certain complicated pregnancies are there, and where there are repeated they lead to the maternal morbidity and mortality as well as perinatal deaths and mortality. So with the education and with the knowledge and spreading the education regarding the contraception can save the woman from mother and the perinatal deaths. Now, even in the high economic countries, the unintended pregnancies are high. So as the science advances, the woman should be able to benefit from more sophisticated method of contraception and may be devoid of side effects and offer more health benefits like protection against STIs and the breast cancer. It is also important to develop male method besides condoms or the vasectomy. So this is all about my presentation. You people are there. I want to share something, this slide with you, which is the last slide. Now, the last slide of my presentation, are you able to see? Yes, anyone? G. Are you able to see my last slide? Yes, any one of you? Okay. Right. Your chat is here in front of me. The method to prevent conception. Okay. Now the mist pill means I want to ask. I will answer you in the last. Now let's see the last slide, which shows the MEC wheel. This is recently a wheel that has been used for advising a different method of the contraception. So you see this slide. Yes, this is the MEC wheel. You see, it is a outer ring, inner rings, and there are certain rings are there. In the outer ring, you appreciate there are different conditions or the problems are written. This is just a one part of that ring. It is a complete circle. So in the outermost ring, there are different problems there like PID, sepsis, sexually transmitted diseases, the postpartum and the breastfeeding. Like this, there are different problems are there in the outer ring. In the inner ring, there are subdivisions of that. Might be that she is on a current PID, sepsis, that is a prepural sepsis, or the post-abortion. Postpartum part has four different subdivisions like less than 48 hours, more than 48 hours to 4 weeks to 6 weeks, and 6 weeks to 6 months. So sliding this outer circle to in the center one, and there are different methods of the contraception like copper IUD, levonorgestrel intrauterine system, levonorgestrel injectables, POP, and the combined oral contraceptive pills. Okay, so you see in this static picture, this ring is set over to the sepsis. So in the sepsis, you all have done with 1, 2, and 3. 1 means the method is all circumstances safe to use. 4 means you need not to use. And 3 and 4 means if the risk benefit over the advantages or advantages benefits over the risk, you can use. So you see, if you all see and appreciate in the column of the sepsis, the number 1 means in the sepsis, you can safely use the combined oral contraceptive pills, the progestogen only pills, the progestogen only implants and the injectables, but levonorgestrel intrauterine copper device and the levonorgestrel intrauterine system are not used. It's written as 4. So likewise, when you are used this Mach wheel or a cycle, this is just an application. So by this application, you just rotate where you are, you keep that outer circle so that it will give you the options in terms of 1, 2, and 3, and 4, that which method is more suitable in terms of 1 and which method need not to be used in terms 4 for that specific problem, either sepsis, PID, migraine, liver diseases, postpartum, and breastfeeding. Okay, so this is called as the medical eligibility criteria wheel for the contraception. Okay. Now, any questions you want to ask? Yes. G students, anything you want to ask? Missed pill means the woman has the contraceptive pill pack, and it comprises of 21 days approximately. So in 1 week, 2nd week, and the 3rd week. If the woman missed the pill in the 1st week, in that cases, she has no any protection of 7 pill before. She has a protection of 7 pill ahead. So in that cases, we advise her to practice the emergency contraception and continue her pill. If she missed the pill in the 2nd week of the cycle or the 2nd week of the pack, so in that cases, she has used the 7 pills before and she has the 7 pills more to use. So we ask the woman to take the pill and continue, and there is no need for emergency contraception for use. She can practice. But if she missed the pill in the last week of her pack, in which she has no any more 7 pill protection ahead, so we ask her to omit the pill-free interval, do not take the placebo, pills, and start taking the new pill so that it can be prevented. And in that cases, if there's a need of emergency contraception is there, we need to advise to take the pill regularly. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay? All you understand? Any question you need to ask? Do you hear me? Yes. Anyone want to ask anything? Do you all hear me?
जी मैडम एंड कर दूं?
जी